Yo, welcome back to an episode of Vast Reacts. We got WrestleMania, 10 most painful moments in WWE. Now, as you know, well, some of you might know, I'm a WWE fan, and you might hear knocking. It's the neighbors next door apparently renovating their house, very loud. Some of you might know, I'm a WWE fan. My favorite wrestlers stem from Hardy, Punk, Cena, Cody, and many more. Um, But as you don't know, well, some of you don't, some of you do, wrestling comes with a lot of risk and consequences, and it's a reason why they tell you don't try this at home. Because some of these moments can be extremely painful and can lead to career ending injuries or worse. A couple times people suffered unfortunate circumstances in that ring. As you're about to see right here, right now. So 10 most painful moments at WWE. But I know y'all used to try this shit at home. Who was y'all favorite wrestler? I mean, who did y'all choose when y'all tried to move? To me, it was Hardy, Jeff Hardy. You know, you know, Bonk Biz almost broke my back a couple times, but you know it is what it is. Okay, let's stop it.
In an almost deadly 5-star frog splash. The 10 most painful looking spots in WWE. Number 10, an almost deadly 5-star frog splash.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one with Brock tried to. No, it was Brock. No, it wasn't Brock. Wait, hold on.
One of the things that Triple H has been known for is pushing through injuries to finish a match.
Okay, it wasn't
Most
Brock.
fans
Loud and
associate
wrong.
the game with his quad tears in 2001 and 2007 respectively. However, there was an injury that Triple H suffered at the 2002 Survivor Series that could have legitimately changed his life forever. At the event, Triple H defended his world title against a number of top talents from the Raw brand inside the first ever Elimination Chamber. One of the most infamous spots in the match saw Rob Van Dam perform his finishing move, the 5-star frog splash, from the top of the pod onto the Cerebral Assassin.
Oh, I don't remember
Whilst
that.
This was visually something to behold. The reality was that RVD's shin landed on Triple H's throat, and this forced the game to be rushed into hospital after the match. According to Triple H, every time he took a bump, he lost his breath. So in hindsight, an audible should have been called and Triple H should have been taken out of the match entirely. The dangerous spot was reflected on by RVD on the WWE Network show Ruthless Aggression, and this is what RVD had to say when it came to the incident. It was not an easy calculation and I was off. I think I overshot a little bit, and as I was coming down, my shin came right across his throat. I felt horrible about it, but of course he continued the match to the point where I don't remember even knowing that he was hurt, at least not that bad.
Damn, RVD must have had a sharp ass shin. Imagine your shin hitting somebody's throat and it's like constrict your breathing. That's scary.
Number 9, Swanton Bomb through a table. Wrestling's resident daredevil Jeff Hardy has made a career out of high-risk moves, and if Hardy himself says a spot was painful, then it must have been truly agonizing.
Yeah, I
in
see why his back
Hardy was
be
wrestling
hurting
Rob
now.
Van Dam on SmackDown, and in the match, Hardy was getting set to perform a Swanton Bomb from a ladder onto RVD, who was lying prone on the table. This spot was different compared to the usual high-risk table spots, as the table was set up in an unconventional manner. This meant that when Hardy would go through it, his head would smash through the hardest part of the table. Hardy would
Damn.
perform the move, and RVD would move out the way, so Hardy took the full force of the bump. It made for an uncomfortable viewing experience, and this is what Hardy had to say regarding the bump during an interview with TalkSport. That was
It's just not football that gets CTE. It's wrestling too. And I give my props to Jeff Hardy, the GOAT, one of my great favorites of all time. Jeff Hardy took a lot of bumps for his body on the line just for the love of the game, bro. Jeff Hardy, the most swaggiest nigga in WWE. Well, when he was in WWE, now he in TNA. But, you know, partnership shit going on right now. But Jeff Hardy was the most swaggiest nigga of all times. And I say this with confidence. He was popular than Obama when Obama was in office. I'm just saying.
my worst bump ever. If you're talking about one where I went through the table vertical, it was just straight to my back, and oh my god, it knocked the wind out of me the worst ever. When it comes to bumps, that hurt the most as far as getting the wind knocked out. My lower back for the next few weeks, oh, it was rough. I was like, oh, I don't think I'll ever want to go through a table vertically again, and I didn't, but I just had to do it. Just let me do it. I think it's going to be alright. And then when I went through the framing to the floor, and wow, it hurt. Number 8, suplex onto the stage. The suplex onto the stage or ramp is a spot that is commonly used in WWE, and it's mainly used because it looks devastating and makes a huge sound that the crowd can react to.
Right.
However, when Bianca Belair delivered the spot to Bayley in a last woman standing match in 2022, Bayley's back landed awkwardly, and this wasn't a case of Bayley selling, as she was legitimately in agony. Speaking to ESPN, Bayley would discuss the bump, and she labeled it as one of the most painful spots she's ever been involved in. One of the worst ones I took was in Saudi Arabia last year when I had my last woman standing match with Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title. It was just a suplex onto the ramp, a ramp that you had to walk down at the entrance. And that was one of the worst feelings I ever had in wrestling. It just knocked the wind out of me. I don't know what kind of ramp that was. I don't know if I wasn't ready for it or what, but it knocked the wind out of me. That was bad. I was not expecting that. Bayley went on to say that she felt like her lower back had crumbled. My lower back felt like it just crumbled from my tailbone and halfway up my back. It was one of those where you could feel it in your thighs. It shifted down to my thighs.
That ramp must have been hard as shit. That ramp must have been extremely made a fucking cinder. Damn.
Felt like it shattered and I was thrown into a cement wall. Number 7, Spike Dudley misses the table.
The GOAT.
When a wrestler takes a bump through a table, the table
Another
is
GOAT.
designed to cushion the...
Spike Dudley did not give a flying fuck. It's like they used to throw Spike Dudley across the fucking... The dumbass over there. They used to do Spike Dudley wrong. And he used to take it. I wouldn't be surprised if he was drinking or, smoking. They used to treat Spike Dudley like a rag dog.
Fall and keep that wrestler safe. Usually a wrestler shouldn't come away with even a scratch or bruise, yet sometimes spots involving tables go horribly wrong. When La Resistance attempted to put Spike Dudley through a table on the outside of the ring on Raw in 2003, Dudley missed the table, yet his head bounced off the edge. Dudley had a truly horrific landing.
Damn!
Can't begin to describe how much pain he would have been in. Upon landing, Dudley immediately grabbed his head, and knowing what we know about head trauma, specifically CTE, this didn't make for pleasant viewing, and the spot has aged horribly. In relation to what went wrong with the spot, it was clear that the table was set up in the wrong place, and the table needed to be moved closer to the ring. Additionally, due to the two men throwing Dudley over, there was likely a miscommunication which led to him having such an unfortunate landing. Number 6, Gravesite landing. Mankind took some crazy bumps during his career, ranging from various bumps in thumbtacks to being thrown off the Hell in a Cell by The Undertaker.
Yeah, Mick Foley was on one. Mick Foley was literally on one. Like, this man was the king of hardcore matches before Hardcore Holly. Mick Foley was literally on one. I'm surprised he's still around, thriving. I mean, I know he's still thriving, but damn.
1999, during a Buried Alive match on SmackDown, he would be thrown from the stage by the Big Show, and the idea was that Mankind would land safely in the cushioned grave. Sadly, Mankind couldn't get enough momentum, so he landed awkwardly and painfully on top of the pre-built gravesite. According to Foley himself, he had slacked off on training, but still felt that he was fit enough to make the clean jump into the grave. Unfortunately for Foley, as the spot was about to go down, he was extremely tired and realized how out of shape he was. When he eventually made the leap of faith, he put all his energy into making the leap, but ultimately crashed and burned. Number 5, Steel Chair Nightmare. WWE are diligent when it comes to steel chair bumps, and due to the dangers of chairs, particularly when it comes to headshots, most chair bumps are taken on the back, shoulder, or leg. However, at the 2017...
Which I wish they will make chair bumps more realistic. Like, I understand the progression, the dance. Like, bro, if you know you ready to take a chair shot, and they know, okay, the chair shot coming up, the chair spot coming up, don't just sit there back thrusted out, bracing for him. Like, make it look real. Like, make it, okay, swinging the chair. Man, oh, shit. Boom, like, hurry up, tense up. Don't just back out. Like, bro, like, we know.
In Rumble, Kevin Owens took the most dangerous steel chair bump of all time. On the outside of the ring, chairs were stacked in an untraditional manner.
I think I started watching it this time.
Take a bump from the ropes into the massive chairs. Owens landed horribly, as there was no way for Owens to land other than striking his head on the corners and edges of the steel chairs. Owens was perfectly fine after the match, and this was a case of him knowing how far he could push his body. He would later speak incredibly highly of the match, and the spot itself was definitely a factor in the match being so well remembered amongst the fan base. Number 4, Thunderous Midair Chair Shot. Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit had unbelievable chemistry in the ring. However, there are certain spots that the two delivered in their matches that have aged like milk. When the two collided in a ladder match at the 2001 Royal Rumble event, they delivered a spot which saw Benoit dive through the ropes onto Jericho, only for Jericho to counter it with a sickening chair shot to the skull. The sound of the steel bouncing off Benoit's skull is a sound that fans will never forget. It was made even worse by the fact that Benoit didn't even have his hands up over his face. It's good news that WWE would never authorize wrestlers to take part in...
Benoit ain't give a Benoit used to take chairs, tables, ladders straight to the face. Not even put his hands up. He's a smack. Boing. Like, Benoit ain't care.
Spots of this
Benoit did not care. That's why, you know, he has CTE.
Especially in the wake of new findings relating to head trauma and CTE. Number 3,
that shit ain't no joke.
Onto the announce table. A lot of painful spots in WWE occur when a planned spot goes wrong, and this was the case in 2021 when Rhea Ripley took on Raquel Rodriguez in NXT.
Blonde hair.
The last women's standing match featured a spot which saw Ripley get backdropped onto the announce table. The table was of course designed to absorb the impact, yet the landing was off, and Ripley's back bounced off the edge. Ripley looked to be in considerable pain, and the referee for the match immediately sprung into action to check if Ripley was injured. Speaking to ESPN, this is what the multi-time women's champion had to say regarding the spot. I've taken a lot of bad ones. There have been a lot of crappy bumps in my life. But one of the worst was my last women's standing match, which requires a wrestler to keep an opponent down for a 10 count rather than the traditional 3 with Raquel Rodriguez in NXT in 2021. She gave me a back body drop onto the announce table, but I didn't make it to the table completely. I hit the edge and then the table broke, but it legitimately screwed my back up and my lower back has never been the same. A lot of pain. It was just an awkward bump. Number 2, a wood puncture.
A wood
classic
puncture
was seen in Madison Square Garden in early 2000 as Triple H and Cactus Jack collided in a critically acclaimed street fight at the Royal Rumble. The match was responsible for the fans accepting the game as a main event level attraction, and Mick Foley, as he always did, went the extra mile to put him over. The match featured some truly heinous spots, yet there's one spot that would have caused long-term pain and damage.
Triple H being a mid-carder. Who would have knew? And now he's the CEO of the company, or the creative director of the company. Damn, time flies so bad.
To Triple H. And spot saw Triple H get suplexed by Foley onto 2 wooden pallets. If this wasn't painful enough, a piece of broken wood punctured the game's skin. It was so deep that Triple H required medical assistance for that wound following the match. And number 1, the Backlash 2003 stretcher spot. When Big Show defeated Rey Mysterio at the 2003 Backlash event.
A piece of wood going through your skin of your calf muscle, bro. That just sounds crazy.
Mysterio was forced to exit the ring on a stretcher. However, Big Show decided to take things a step too far.
That's when he
throw the stretcher into a ring post. Due to Mysterio being strapped in, he had no way of protecting himself, so his head bounced right off the floor.
Damn.
It's an unpleasant spot to watch back, and hopefully a spot of this nature would never be approved today. According to Mysterio during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, the spot resulted in him being taken to hospital. I remember going over that and the Big Show and the production team were like, is that possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible. We just never thought what would happen after he swung. There was no way he would be able to swing and hold on as if it was a bat. No, the way as soon as that hit, it went down. I went down with my arms strapped to my side head first. I remember Big Show going to the hospital because they took me straight there. Big Show was outside the room I was in and he wanted to come in the room and check on me. He was tearing up and he said, "Ray, I'm sorry. Are you okay?" The nurse left and obviously back then I had a bit of an issue with painkillers, so it was just us and I said, "Okay, Big Show, just try and get something for my pain." But there you have it, folks. 10 of the most painful spots in WWE. Be sure to leave your comments down below.
That's what you call a W, partner, because you gotta check on. Well, I understand some wrestlers always check on their opponent after the match to make sure they not physically damaged. That's what you call W, partner. I mean, that's your dance partner. When you hit that ring, that is your dance partner. That match got to be choreographed from the T to up top, down bottom to the T. But you don't know the outcome of certain circumstances. Like, we could have practiced this, but next thing you know, the way how we practice this might go left, so you never know. But yeah, this has been the top 10, the 10 most painful spots in WWE to WrestleMania. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the boy Vast Reacts. Like, comment, subscribe. Road to 2,000, and we can keep going up from there. Bigger and better things are coming. See you next time. Peace.